If you clicked on this video, there's a very good chance that you know about this person, and you probably watched their videos or videos debunking them. And in the off chance you've never heard of this person, I'll show you the part of the video that they made that made everyone go crazy.
All white people are racist, all men are misogynistic, all cisgender people are transphobic. I am racist, classist, ableist, and I probably contribute to many other systems of marginalization that I am not aware of.
Now, this is what came immediately before that clip in Milo's video.
I accredit to most of the ideas that I have picked up from these two videos created by two very lovely black YouTubers.
Yeah, except for they're not lovely, they're horrible racist pieces of shit, and they have corrupted your young mind. Now, I don't have the strength or the stomach to deal with this guy right now, and it seems that he might not be that lovely anymore because of this annotation. So, hating white people is okay, but hating Jews, still no. Makes so much sense, doesn't it? So, since this one still gets the lovely pass, I'll look at her and this video. So here's a little snapshot, and as you can see, the video's kinda old by YouTube standards, but it's still being viewed, and here's some of the comments that really made me feel like I had to do something or say something.
I live in a constant state of fear and misery. Do you miss me anymore? And I don't even notice when it hurts.
Out of all of them, this one's my favorite though. Now, this one really blows me away because, as you can see, Oh Hello says that this video was the catalytic moment for them to realize their inherent racism. Now, I'm going to go through why this video, this PSA, is the worst PSA I've ever seen in my life. And remember, before anyone gets upset, no one is exempt from criticism.
And I'm just here to let you know, public service announcement, yes, all white people. All white people are racist.
That is an absolutely bold and massive claim to make, and I'm really interested in how you're going to back that up.
And the reason why all white people are racist is because all white people are born into and raised in a racist white supremacist society that instills racist white supremacist ideals within them.
Okay, you're going to have to back that one up now.
And until they say, you know what, I am racist. I was born into this racist society that instilled me with certain beliefs of superiority.
The reason why this is such a lousy video to get any sort of information, knowledge, or insight from is because she never backs it up. She makes this huge claim and never backs it up. You're just expected to believe that and then follow with the rest. And no, don't do that. When someone says something outrageous and huge like that, say, slow down, explain that more a little bit before you go to the next part.
But for any non-essential white people in your life, I think that the criteria for being around them should be, hey, can you admit that our society is racist and that you have racist beliefs that you're working to unlearn? If they can't do that, they gotta get the fuck out.
If you don't accept this reality that I have failed to prove as factual to you, you're a bad person and you need to go. Also, if you disagree with me when I say that the body thetans on you are causing all your distress, you're a suppressive person and you gotta go.
And it is the job, it is the responsibility of white people at this point to convey to other white people, listen, we have a problem. We have a problem. Because they're never going to listen to you. If you're a black person or if you're a minority, they're not going to listen to you because they have those ideals, okay? Even if it's on a subconscious level.
That right there, it's that kind of thinking that I hate more than almost anything. Now, I made a little reference to Scientology before, and there's a reason for that. When I was 16, I discovered Scientology through South Park, and at first I thought it was something they made up because it was so ridiculous, but lo and behold, it was very real, and people really believed it. And I ran into a community of some Scientologists on YouTube, and there were some anonymous people or anti-Scientology people, and I wanted to figure out how, like, this was the first time I met anyone who believed something that was just so obviously not true. but was so convinced of it. It was fascinating to me, and it was a defining moment in my mental growth, I think, to learn about that aspect of people. And whenever I or someone else would say something bad about L. Ron Hubbard or their cult, they actually would say to me sometimes that I must have had some trauma in some past life that was making me reject the truth or something like that. So they always have it set up that if you disagree, then, oh, that just means this. That just means you're a suppressive person. That means you have crimes that you've done that you don't want to get found out, or because there's something blocking you. And it's the same thing. It's, oh, if you're a black person or a person of color and you bring up this bullshit to a white person and they don't buy it off the bat, that just means they're part of the racist system and they're bad. It just shuts down any sort of room to listen to critique, to listen to the other side, to open your mind. It's sinister. It's evil and sinister to think this way, and I hate it. Always, always, always be skeptical when you hear anyone speaking this way. Always. Never let it slip by, not even once. Question everything. Everything.
It is not your job to educate white people. It's not your job to chase after them. It's not your job to respectability politic them and try to prove your worth and your value to them to get them to accept you and say, you know what, you are a human being. That is not your job.
I can't even believe this shit. Like, not only are white people supposed to gobble up this idea, but they're also supposed to teach themselves. Can you honestly not see how that doesn't work in your best interest? I mean, I know you feel like you don't have that responsibility and you shouldn't. Well, according to your worldview, yeah, you shouldn't. But if you want people to buy it, you gotta put the work in if you really want that to happen. But no. Why am I helping?
It is your job to create, again, a sense of agency.
Agency? Who in recent times has done more to take agency away from people of color, women, and people with disabilities than the SJWs? Social justice warriors will tell you that they want to liberate you, but you have to realize that if you're already free, they have to put you in chains and then liberate you from the chains they put on you. There are already enough things in this world that can get in your way, so don't you dare let anyone make up something and then use it to put it in your way. Like, don't let them add to the already big burden of the world. Don't let them tell you that you're weak and powerless if you're really not. Bigotry is not equally distributed throughout the world. There are places where bigotry is absolutely everywhere, and there are places where it's almost not there at all. And when you try to apply this sweeping statement to the entire world, to entire races of people, it just doesn't work.
And this rush to say, well, I'm an individual, that's an example of your privilege.
How convenient is that? The biggest, easiest, most demonstrable way to prove her wrong is just dismissed like that. No biggie, it's just your privilege. Don't talk about this really good point you have, it's your privilege. Listen here. My mom is a white woman. She married a black man. She had 2 kids. One of them is obviously me. I was raised to love myself. I was raised to love others. There was never a time in my childhood where I felt bad about my skin. There was never a time in my childhood where I felt ashamed of who my parents were or what they looked like. When I was a kid, my mom was the ideal adult that I aspired to be. She taught me what's right and wrong. The most influential person in my entire life. And she is an individual, and she is not racist. So, there you go.
If you're not saying that, then you don't have permission to talk to me. You don't have permission to leave comments on my channel. You don't have permission to hit me up on Tumblr. You don't have permission to fucking mention me on Twitter now that I have a Twitter. You don't have permission to fucking talk to me on Instagram. You don't have permission to talk to me, white person. You don't have fucking permission to talk to me.
Anyone who's watching this video, You have permission to talk to me. No matter who you are or what you are, I'll give you all a fair shake. Do you want to know why that is? It's because I'm not afraid to have my ideas challenged. I'm not afraid of conflict. I'm not afraid of someone calling me out. I'm not afraid of calling someone else out. I'm not afraid of being convinced of another way of thinking. I am not afraid to change my mind when I'm provided with better evidence. I'm not afraid of that. I want to talk. It's fascinating to hear someone say something that sounds totally crazy and try to figure out how their mind works. I want to do that. And this girl, this racist piece of shit is a coward. And she has like a culty way of thinking, and she's obviously trying to indoctrinate other people into it. Weak-minded people who have never been taught critical thinking. This is kind of scary, but I'm glad to know that most people aren't this stupid. And that's what it is, stupid. Racism is stupid. Well, I think I'm done. Cheerio.